Welcome to DC2B Revolution, helping chiropractic students think big in order to live large. I'm Noah Volz, and today I'm here with a chiropractic advocate. Hannah Nelson is the founder of ChiroCulture, and through ChiroCulture, she empowers and inspires chiropractors to make the difference they always dreamed of and bring about a better and healthier world through modern design and art. So Hannah Nelson, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And so I wanted to kick off this conversation talking a little bit about culture. You have the word culture in the name of your business. And I wondered if you could give us a little bit of context about what culture means to you and really what it means in reference to the chiropractic profession.
Yeah, so I mean, like, we all kind of are part of different cultures, and the culture I see trending in America is kind of one that's where it's normal to be sick and normal to be just not really think about your health much and just kind of listen to big pharma and commercials and Monsanto, and you just eat whatever you can find on the shelf. And so people don't really put a lot of thought into taking care of themselves. And I think that chiropractors are the ones who are going to be leading the charge, or like leading this new revolution of bringing about healthy changes in America, because it's like nobody else is doing it. And I see chiropractors, rising chiropractors who are really passionate about healthy living, and they have this whole wealth of knowledge behind them, as well as the power of chiropractic just to transform a person's health and a person's life. And so with chiroculture, like, I really wanted to change that unhealthy culture we see in America, help chiropractors change it into like that chiropractic lifestyle and have a new kind of culture in America. So that's the goal.
Yeah, what a powerful vision for the future of, all of us as Americans and even across the world beyond America, really thriving and living our fullest potential. And I feel like, so many people maybe don't really think for themselves as much as they could. They've kind of been influenced to go along with the flow and do what they're told. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about influence and how we as chiropractors, we as chiropractic students can be more influential and
You're cutting out a lot. Sorry, I think oh, okay, you're back. You froze for a minute.
Oh, okay. Did you hear the question?
Nope.
Okay. No worries. I'll restate it.
The intro. So I heard the introduction to the question.
Okay. So the question was about if we want to change the culture, or if we want to influence the culture, what are the best tools we have as chiropractors for being influential and for influencing people to take more responsibility for their health?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes with like the whole B level, like who you are, more than like that's where it starts more than what you do. So if you can like own the message and own the truth and not be afraid to talk about it, like be bold and tell people the truth in your orientation, which I definitely think every chiropractor needs to have an orientation for new patients, because that's like your one chance to tell them like the big picture message. So at the table and in your ROFs, like if you can tell them the truth and not just like, they probably are going to come in for back pain, like that's what most people come in for. But if you take them a little bit further and tell them like, it doesn't just stop there, like there's more. So let me know if your allergies get better, or if you get to stop taking your blood pressure medication, like keep an eye on those things, because all of those are nervous system related. So if you can be bold, like that's where it starts. And then like there's so many other things, of course, too, like with like modern designs and just kind of outside of the box thinking. I like to say like there's like people have come to expect like this level of service. And so as chiropractors, let's just take it up a notch. Like let's take it up 10 notches and pour some awesome sauce on everything we do, just so we can stand out. I think that makes a big difference in people's minds, giving them that like Disneyland experience when they come into our offices.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think medicine, especially Western medicine, doesn't really think of themselves as part of the hospitality industry.
Mhm.
And I feel like there's a real opportunity for chiropractors who recognize that, you know, not only is their job medicine, but also, or getting people well, but also there's this hospitality aspect of really like welcoming people into a community and into a tribe. What do you feel like is the best way to really like welcome people in?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I think you're right. Like the hospitality, giving people that excellent care and just really caring about them as a person, not just as a number or a chart. I think people are really sick of the way they're treated in medical work, the medical system. I know a lot of people that are just they are treated like they're not people, and they're just treated like their problem. And I know people don't want that, so they're looking for something different. So if you can treat them like a person and actually have that level of care, that will just make them trust you all the more. You can also, so building the tribe mentality, a lot of it takes just connection. Like millennials really want that connection. And so I know Seth Godin talks about building your tribe. Like people are going to be part of a tribe wherever they are. And so if you can make them part of the chiropractic tribe, that's great. So they just need to be connected to their leader, and they need to be a way to be connected to each other. So if you can have things like events and things they can get involved with, projects or patient appreciation dinners or picnics or whatnot, where you're connecting with them and being vulnerable with them as a person, like you're a human and not just this doctor that's way up here, but you're just kind of like the guide who's helping them find their best version of themselves or their best life, then that'll start to build that tribe mentality in your clinic.
Yeah, I want to dig into that a little bit deeper. You mentioned millennials and them really wanting connection and wanting to be a part of a tribe. In your experience, part of chiroculture, what have you found to be the best tools to create that connection with millennials, so that they do really feel like they're part of something that does resonate with them authentically?
Yeah, so I think like if you can communicate the big picture, like the big why, and have kind of I like to think in like your life in terms of story. So the people that work with you and you in your office, if you were in a story, who would be the villain that you're fighting against? Like who would be that thing or that person, that epic thing, that epic storyline that you're trying to take down? And so for us, I mean, it's like big pharma and the whole like world medical system. Like not that we think they're evil, but just the whole like going along with whatever they say. Like we think that each person's health is their own responsibility. And so if you can have like this cause or this purpose that you can get people passionate about and on board with, and then give them a way to participate in it, that's going to help get them on board a lot.
Yeah, I love this idea of the story. And yeah, the villain can be something outside of yourself, like big pharma, but I feel like a lot of times the villain is actually within the person themselves, and it's their complacency or their unworthiness, or whatever it may be, the emotions or the self-sabotage that they have within them that makes it hard for them to get to the next step. And I love this idea of framing whatever challenge they're in as like the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And, almost being like Yoda or Merlin or whatever, character that you resonate with, that you're helping the hero go through their journey. Is that something that you kind of see or do or resonate with?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you've heard of Donald Miller and his story brand stuff, but he talks a lot about that. Just you coming alongside people as their guide and helping them overcome those problems and those challenges. And so I think the big idea that we fight as chiropractors is the whole idea that it's normal to be sick. Like, oh, that's just my genes, or that's just my life, and that's just how it is. And that's not true. Like, every person was born to be healthy, and we can help give people that chance. And if they're healthy, then they can have this whole open door of opportunities to do amazing things with their life. And so we're kind of coming alongside of them and fighting that big bad guy of that idea that, no, you were born to be healthy. You're not born to be sick. So let's figure out how to get you there.
Yes, and I completely agree. And so in terms of in terms of shifting people's mentality from this idea that that the sickness is inevitable and that old age equals inability to move and function and pick up your grandkids and be your best self, what is the type of community outreach that chiropractic students and chiropractors need to be doing in order to shift that conversation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I totally believe outreach is like the way that we're going to be able to do this, just because we can't wait. We can't just wait for people to come to us. Because a lot of people have this negative perception of chiropractic. So if we can take that message of hope to them, then they'll start to trust us and kind of look to us as that beacon of health. I think one way that we can start to change people's perception is just through our stories and just sharing all these amazing stories that happen through our patients and kind of getting them to spread it as well. So a lot of that is social media. A lot of that is just finding those places in your community where health is lacking, whether it's your schools or the way people view pregnancy or whatever, finding those areas and then jumping on board and saying, okay, let's make this better. Like, this isn't the way things are supposed to be. So let's figure out a way to make this better. And even if it's not exactly chiropractic related, it is furthering the mission, because when people look to you and you're starting to change set a standard for health, then they are starting to trust you and just believe in what you're saying and they quit seeing you as just a boring back doctor.
Yeah, which is what really needs to happen in order to really shift that paradigm and change the culture at large from one of sickness being the norm to one of health being the norm. And so, I wonder, like, it feels to me, at least, that there's kind of a lot of misconceptions about chiropractic. I mean, you mentioned the one of like being a back doctor. Do you feel like that's the biggest misconception that's kind of stopping chiropractic from serving more people?
I do. And I think, like, I'm sure you know the history of it, that chiropractic first became popular because of the flu. Like, people who were getting adjusted weren't dying from the influenza. And then they were also discovering that, oh, the people who had the flu and now they're not dying, they also got rid of their back pain. Like, we can market this. And so I think because of that, the mindset shifted to where, like, now chiropractic, that's all people think it's for, is for back pain, which is no fun, but that's not all that it's for. And so if we can take that even further and kind of get people to see it as not just for your pain, if this is for your optimal health, then that will make a world of a difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I know that there's chiropractors out there, there's students out there that that maybe struggle with packaging that message, or kind of turning the conversation from one of back pain to educating them about all of the other things that chiropractic can do. And so I know a lot of people are going to want to reach out to you and find out more and figure out how to cultivate these skills that are going to really help them serve more people. So where can people find you? What's the best way for people to learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, I have my website, chiroculture.com. I have an ebook on there that you can get for just $5. So if you're willing to go without a Starbucks today, then you can get that book. It's so worth it. And that will give you just kind of like a dump of here's how you can start to change people's mindset. And then we also have a Facebook page where like 3 times a week we post something about chiropractic with beautiful art that you can share on your Facebook page as well. So I really think that if people start seeing this and making it viral, if they see it enough of the message, it'll start to click eventually.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's part of the reason I started the channel, because I think it's so important for us to have more content and more of the message out there and be able to share more of the bigger picture behind chiropractic. So this has been action of DC to be Revolution, helping chiropractic students think big in order to live large. If you like this video, let me know. If you want to learn more, leave some comments in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the DC to be Revolution YouTube channel. And Hannah Nelson, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.